Okay, we've covered hasty shelter, fire. The next thing's going to be water. Now, in order to do water, all you need to do is boil it, especially in an area like this, because we're just removing biological contaminants. However, I'm going to show you a really cool rig that you can use to boil your water or cook food so that it's more than just, slap that thing in there, boil it, and drink some nasty water. So what we are building here is something called a Burtonsville rig. So in order to make a Burtonsville rig, all that you're going to do is make 2 legs of a teepee, one really long one with a flat surface on top that you hang a pot from. Super simple. Now, in order to do that, I need long, straight chunks of wood that I gotta find a way to pull out of this gnarly mess. So, just like last time, bend and cut. A lot of this is dead. One. Not the straightest thing in the pile, that's for sure. But I'm gonna make it work. That's one leg of my teepee. That'll be a good drop leg right there. And these are all shoots that are coming off another branch. So I'm not even cutting the branch. When I get done with this, you shouldn't be able to tell that you were here. So don't go cutting big chunks out of the same place. Grab 1 or 2 here, move somewhere else, grab 1 or 2. That piece is dead. Should be a good hanging piece. It's a little bit ugly. And another tripod. This is all so dead. Let's do this. Behind shelter and fire, because it is shelter, water is probably the most important thing you need to have access to. Oftentimes you can find water by getting to a high point and looking for the type of plants that grow along water. We have a lot of seep willow here, and it tends to only grow where there's pockets of water. So if you get up high and you see these little strips of super green or strips of plants that are substantially different from what covers the rest of the valley, there's a high probability you've got water down there. Now, I brought 2 water containers because I want to show you different techniques for a container with a bale handle and a container without one. This is a Morskohansky pot. You know, without getting into it too far in depth, it's got a locking handle, holds a good amount of water. This is really good for one person to make a rabbit stew or a big amount of tea, whatever. Now, when it comes to taking water in that you have to boil constantly, you want a larger container. You don't want to have to boil 27 cups of water for your day. You need at least 1 gallon a day for a base measurement as far as water intake is concerned. If you're an extreme physical, if you're working physically hard, extremely hard, and if you're in extreme heat, you're going to need more water than that. But as a general measurement, you want about 1 gallon a day. So I need, because I'm not going to top this off, about 3 of these a day. All right, so let's grab the water here for this one. Now what I can do is I can start out, and I'd top this off right now, but I'm gonna spill a little bit walking back. What I can do is I can add pine needles to this. I can add wild edibles to this. If I get any animals, I can add this stew and put a squirrel in here or whatever. And I'm gonna cook this until it boils. And if I've got animals in it, I'm gonna continue a little bit further than that to make sure that the interior part of that meat is cooked. I might even cook the squirrel over the fire and then add it to the stew. If I'm really starving, I'm just gonna boil it all up to make sure that I get all the fats and nutrients. If I'm not super starving, I'll cook it on the fire and then add it to the stew because it makes the meat taste better. Now, that's my first water containing option. The other one I have, and the reason why I like it is because I can throw it around a waste pack, a VersaCloth or a Shamog, and I can carry it very comfortably, and it's a clean canteen. This is a single walled canteen. You don't want double walled because there's a vacuum on the inside of it and it can blow up if you stick it on the fire. And you can see that I've used it many times in the past and tried to scrub it clean. Now, the reason why I like this one specifically is because that's a half a gallon. That means I boil this twice. If I boil this twice in one day, I know that I'm drinking at least 1 gallon of water a day. The downside to this is it's not as easy to hang over a fire as this, okay? But the upside to the clean canteen versus the Morskohansky pot is this clean canteen is really comfortable to wear on the back of me. It has a larger volume of water. And this is a little bit better for fast movement through the backcountry where all I'm gonna do is boil a bunch of water and go. This is a little bit better for water and stew and other things. There's no reason why you can't use them both together. There's no reason why you can't use them individually. Let's get some water for this guy too. A little bovine wine. Now notice I'm grabbing this out of the dead center because there's less critters less stuff in that dead center. There's always stuff cruising along the bottom. It really helps to know what is upstream if you can. If you're in an area that you don't know about, then you're just guessing. I know because I'm familiar with this area. About 2 or 3 miles that direction is a big holding pond, or a small reservoir. Most of this water is fed from snowmelt. So I know that there's really good probability if I'm in a life or death situation where I either drink water or die, that I'm not going to be at a super high risk of drinking this water. However, I also know there's a lot of cows. And if there's cow poop in that reservoir, there's cow poop in this water. And if there's cow poop in this water, there's Giardia, Cryptosporidium, and other items. So now I have to judge what level of risk do I take. Have I been out here for 3 days? Is it in the middle of the summer? Am I going to die without water? I'm going to risk catching that disease because I know that it takes at least about 7 days for it to affect me. And that gives me 7 more days that I can get rescued and get medical help. Otherwise, it's die now or maybe get sick later. I will always err on the side of maybe get sick later. But if you can boil, then boil. That way there's no issues whatsoever.